Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A pass to a receiver downfield from the passer. An electrical device that sends or receives radio or television signals. Characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, as impalpable or intangible as air. Aerial fancies. Existing or living or growing or operating in the air. Aerial roots of a philodendron. A pass to a receiver downfield from the passer. One of a pair of mobile appendages on the head of e.g. insects and crustaceans, typically sensitive to touch and taste. Sensitivity similar to that of a receptor organ. He had a special antenna for public relations. An electrical device that sends or receives radio or television signals. An electrical device that sends or receives radio or television signals. Resembling air or having the form of air. Characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, as impalpable or intangible as air. Figures light and aeriform come unlooked for and melt away. The lofty nest of a bird of prey, such as a hawk or eagle. Any habitation at a high altitude. Characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, as impalpable or intangible as air. Not practical or realizable, speculative. Airy theories about socio-economic improvement. Open to or abounding in fresh air. Airy rooms. Characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, as impalpable or intangible as air. An airy apparition. Having little or no perceptible weight, so light as to resemble air. Airy gauze curtains. Characterized by unusual lightness and delicacy. This smallest and most ethereal of birds. Of heaven or the spirit. Ethereal melodies. Characterized by lightness and insubstantiality, as impalpable or intangible as air. Physical rather than ethereal forms. Of or containing or dissolved in ether. Ethereal solution. Lacking material form or substance, unreal. Lacking material form or substance, unreal. As insubstantial as a dream. Lacking solidity or strength. Vinyl siding has become the standard bearer for cheap, insubstantial construction. Lacking in nutritive value. An insubstantial and unsatisfying meal. Lacking material form or substance, unreal. Contrived by art rather than nature. Lacking in reality or substance or genuineness, not corresponding to acknowledged facts or criteria. Ghosts and other unreal entities. Not actually such, being or seeming fanciful or imaginary. This conversation is getting more and more unreal. Able to fly through the air, as a bird. 3 chicks were raised to the free-flying stage. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. The coach sent in a passing play on 3rd and long. Move past. A black limousine passed by when she looked out the window. Eliminate from the body. Grant authorization or clearance for. A usually brief attempt. Success in satisfying a test or requirement. His future depended on his passing that test. Come to pass. Of advancing the ball by throwing it. A team with a good passing attack. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. A document indicating permission to do something without restrictions. The media representatives had special passes. Cuz to pass. She passed around the plates. Be superior or better than some standard. Transmit information. Pass along the good news. Go unchallenged. Be approved. Pass over, across, or through. Place into the hands or custody of. Sports. The act of throwing the ball to another member of your team. The pass was fumbled. Pass into a specified state or condition. Make laws, bills, etc. or bring into effect by legislation. They passed the amendment. A difficult juncture. A pretty pass. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. A permit to enter or leave a military installation. He had to show his pass in order to get out. Pass by. A bad or difficult situation or state of affairs. Travel past. The sports car passed all the trucks. Disappear gradually. The pain eventually passed off. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. The coach sent in a passing play on 3rd and long. Baseball. An advance to first base by a batter who receives 4 balls. The location in a range of mountains of a geological formation that is lower than the surrounding peaks. We got through the pass before it started to snow. An automatic advance to the next round in a tournament without playing an opponent. Go successfully through a test or a selection process. She passed the New Jersey bar exam and can practice law now. Be inherited by. Use up a period of time in a specific way. Any authorization to pass or go somewhere. The pass to visit had a strict time limit. Accept or judge as acceptable. The teacher passed the student although he was weak. A complimentary ticket. The star got passes for his family. A flight or run by an aircraft over a target. The plane turned to make a second pass. Allow to go without comment or censure. The insult passed as if unnoticed. Go across or through. We passed the point where the police car had parked. Military, a written leave of absence. He had a pass for 3 days. One complete cycle of operations, as by a computer. It was not possible to complete the computation in a single pass. Throw, a ball, to another player. Smith passed. Transfer to another, of rights or property. Our house passed under his official control. Lasting a very short time. A passing fancy. Hasty and without attention to detail, not thorough. A passing glance. A bodily reaction of changing from one place or stage to another. The passing of flatus. success in satisfying a test or requirement. His future depended on his passing that test. Going by something that is moving in order to get in front of it. She drove but her reckless passing of every car on the road frightened me. Of advancing the ball by throwing it. A team with a good passing attack. To an extraordinary degree. She was a surpassingly beautiful woman. Euphemistic expressions for death. Thousands mourned his passing. The motion of one object relative to another. Stellar passings can perturb the orbits of comets. American football. A play that involves one player throwing the ball to a teammate. The coach sent in a passing play on 3rd and long. Allowing you to pass, e.g., an examination or inspection, satisfactorily. A passing grade. The end of something. The passing of winter. A device that produces or is powered by electricity. A short forward pass in which the receiver is protected by a screen of blockers. A short forward pass to a back who is running toward the sidelines. Erupt or intensify suddenly. Tempers flared at the meeting. A short forward pass to a back who is running toward the sidelines. He threw a flare to the fullback who was tackled for a loss. Burn brightly. Every star seemed to flare with new intensity. A burst of light used to communicate or illuminate. Shine with a sudden light. The night sky flared with the massive bombardment. Become flared and widen, usually at one end. The bell-bottom pants flare out. A shape that spreads outward. The skirt had a wide flare. A sudden eruption of intense high-energy radiation from the sun's surface, associated with sunspots and radio interference. A device that produces a bright light for warning or illumination or identification. An unwanted reflection in an optical system, or the fogging of an image that is caused by such a reflection. A sudden burst of flame. A sudden outburst of emotion. She felt a flare of delight. A sudden recurrence or worsening of symptoms. A colitis flare. Baseball. A fly ball hit a short distance into the outfield. Reddening of the skin spreading outward from a focus of infection or irritation. An antenna that sends or receives signals equally in all directions. An aerial half a wavelength long consisting of two rods connected to a transmission line at the center. A pair of equal and opposite electric charges or magnetic poles separated by a small distance. An aerial half a wavelength long consisting of two rods connected to a transmission line at the center. An antenna that transmits or receives signals only in a narrow angle. An antenna that sends or receives signals equally in all directions. Set used to broadcast radio or TV signals. Someone who transmits a message. Return to sender. Set used to broadcast radio or TV signals. Someone who transmits a message. Any agent, person or animal or microorganism, that carries and transmits a disease. Aphids are transmitters of plant diseases. A football player who catches, or is supposed to catch, a forward pass. Law. A person, usually appointed by a court of law, who liquidates assets or preserves them for the benefit of affected parties. A person who receives something. Set that receives radio or TV signals. Earphone that converts electrical signals into sounds. The tennis player who receives the serve. Set that receives radio or TV signals. The branch of biology that studies plants. All the plant life in a particular region or period. The botany of China. The branch of biology that studies plants.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.